We had
a few.
We had a map. I'm not sure. Our producer was looking at a statewide map. What was the statewide number? Steve, your eyes may be better than mine.
I don't know about that.
I think at one point we were talking 1 million, and I thought that was low. I thought that was an early number statewide. And FPL, we're trying to get a hold of 1.6 million customers, right? At least the report coming from this resource, 1.6 million statewide.
And I see some of those big numbers they look like they're down into Martin and St. Lucie and Indian River, where we saw just widespread damage.
And of course, the West Coast, you're going to see big numbers as well. 20,000 outages, St. Lucie County, Steve. 15,000 customers, Indian River. 3,000 Okeechobee, and I only give pause because I was looking at similar numbers earlier today, so I can't vouch to you at home for the veracity of how updated this particular set of numbers is or are. 7,500 Martin County.
Well, those are high numbers.
They're high enough.
Yeah, they're high enough. Then hopefully those people have backup power where they can still continue to watch, because there is a hurricane that's going to track just to the north overnight and bring us some big winds, which we're already seeing. These are the current wind gusts across the entire state. Look at that, 82 miles an hour. That's at Tampa right now. 64 Punta Gorda. The hurricane making landfall about 2 hours ago around Venice, the Siesta Keys, very close to Venice, Florida, Manatee County area. And as it tracks inland, it'll start to weaken a little bit more. Vero 41, 47 in West Palm, and some pretty Daytona even 63. So some of the stronger winds are on the north side of this, and as it pushes across, it'll eventually exit off around the Cape, so it should move away. I don't know if our city labels are in the right spot here, but there's the Cape there, so it'll track off the Cape. That's the official forecast, and then off into the ocean after that. But even as it makes its way offshore, there's still some very gusty winds that'll settle in behind this. We may see some of the higher wind gusts during the day on Thursday, between 9 a.m. and even into the mid-afternoon, believe it or not. Even though the storm is far away, there's a lot of cooler air and air that has a bit of a punch to it and really can pick up with a west and a northwest wind. I think a lot of people would be surprised at just how windy it is even late tomorrow and into tomorrow night. So that's something to think about. Some of the stronger wind gusts may actually be in 10, 12, 15 hours away from where they are right now. There's a closer look at the future gusts. So south winds almost everywhere. It is so humid around the area, and our forecast gusts, it's a little higher numbers in Palm Beach County than the Treasure Coast. And as we work in, there's 8 a.m. now shifting southwest, 40s, 50s, almost 60 mile an hour wind gusts around Vero and Sebastian. About the same into 10 a.m. and eventually the winds go west around noon hour, and there's still some pretty solid wind gusts. I don't see any 60s or 70s out there, but these are some pretty big numbers. And then as we get in toward Friday and Saturday, they really settle down. There's a closer look at these are some of the airport readings and some of the weather sensors that are up and down the coastline. 54 now in Okeechobee, and 40s and 50s Treasure Coast, mid and high 40s West Palm and Boca. No rain. All that rain's now way off the coastline and dry all the way back to the west. I mean, this is really surprising to see that graphic. And the 11 p.m. forecast, by the way, just came in. This is 105 mile an hour winds, category 2, moving across the state. Looks like that track hasn't really changed much. Just to the down the line track would be just to the south of Tampa. At this point, we're not going to see any kind of big jog, and it's unlikely that the forecast has really been spectacular, I would say, for the last 3 to 4 days. If you watch, I watch not only the air comb, but the down the line track, and it hasn't wavered more than a few miles for the last, I would say, 48 hours. Then eventually it makes its way off the coastline. There's some of the bigger winds up around Vero Beach during the day, and some of the more significant damage, not only with the wind, but with the rainfall too.